1,000 years. Days of time has just been dragging for me. Give everybody a chance to join up. Not that nothing's going to happen when we start. This pretty much always started. Hey, how's it going, Chigga Marie? Hey there, Kathy. Hey, Pam. You did make a beginning of a live. Look at you. It was raining here a while ago. The sun was shining and it was raining. You ever have rainstorms like that? It's wonderful. You can see the sun shining off the pond and yet still see ripples on the pond. It was really cool. Oh, are you the one that messaged me on Facebook that you made the sub rolls? That's awesome. They're great. Well, hey, Jasmine, Tanya, Lynn. Boy, there must be a lot of people here. Angela again. Susan. Verna and Tiffany. Hey, everybody. Finally got the notification. I don't understand how the notifications work. It was, I had scheduled it, and there was like 10 minutes where obviously nobody had been notified about it yet. And then all of a sudden some people did and other people did. And so, well, hey, Justine, Rose. So calming, listening to sing on the porch, listening to the chimes. Yeah, it is pretty nice. I kind of stayed away from the swing. This is where me and Andrea used to sit, but I like it. It's very nice. It's funny, the wind wasn't blowing. Now all of a sudden it's blowing again. I know I got a bunch of people saying, oh, the wind is Andrea telling you something. I mean, I don't know how that works, maybe, but it wasn't windy just a second ago. That's pretty interesting. Hey there, Terry and Ari. First video came up today was recommended as a pizza dip recipe. Oh, that's so good. Pizza dip is awesome. You have storms coming in like an hour. Probably do. Well, we've had there's been some lightning on the horizon for a while, and we did get some rain here for a little bit, but had a beautiful sunset. It was like the bright orange at the bottom up to like a really dark purple before it went to blue. It was really good. Usually you get all orange or all purple. You don't usually get such a nice varying sunset. I got a cool picture. I might put it up on Facebook or something. You guys can see it. Hey, Deanne. Hey, Jennifer. Frony. Yeah, flooding and evacuation going on there. Oh, really? Wow. You two come together, create this large, amazing family, only have ripped away from you without warning. Yeah, that's not fun. Glad you closed the curtains. You don't have to worry about the kiddos and their jammies. That was my thought. You see my thought process. You always realize the error of your ways after. So, well, hey, Ann. You made it live. It's very nice. It's actually fairly warm. I say fairly warm. It's probably 67, 68, and got a nice cool breeze. It's very peaceful. It's very nice. Been a long day. I only had 2 computer jobs today. One was for a new church. It's kind of funny how often God sends me to churches. I think I've serviced every preacher's computer in the 50 square miles. Helped him do a bunch of different things, miscellaneous here and there, and got the van in. So I drove my car to Gillette, and then got back. did our shopping. I should have gotten some video there. Heck, you guys would have been more interested in the live shopping of Smith's than we would have our local grocery store. But that's where we used to go on Magic Night on Friday nights and get the milk. So I went and got milk and cereal and bologna and a few other things we needed. Still have our monthly shopping trip coming up. But anyways, I came back from that, and kids were all doing school. Amy was here, and my mom, and Bethany showed up a little later. And me and Thomas took the van in. I charged up the battery full charge and drove it into the mechanic and got all the way there and got to a left turn light right before we're going to turn to the mechanic, and the battery quit. That's all the charge I could get. So Had Thomas put on his flashers behind me in my car, and we both pushed it into the mechanic, so and into the well. Well, hey, Anne, good to see you. Hey, Diane. Hey, Joanne. So, got the van in, so I'm certain it's the alternator. They'll work on that, and then we had Taco Tuesday. So, that was nice. Oh, there's Rachel. You had plans for a vacation this summer? I don't have any plans for a vacation. I may do something. We may decide to do something, but it'll be like on a week. That's so not like Andrea. A week notice. She had to know long beforehand, plan it a month later, and then be all ready and plan, pack, and he died anyways. It makes you think there's no need to pray for people. Their fate is already made. See, that's the confusing thing about prayer. Prayer's what God wants us to do it. He tells us how much important it is to pray, and when you pray, do this and try to hide it from other people. Just do it between you and the Lord, and but don't use lots of long words to try to impress him with your words, because he knows what you need before you ask him. So if he knows what you need before you ask him, why does he want you to ask? I thought the same thing. We had lots of people praying. All you guys, the whole channel, 70,000 people pretty much, not praying for Andrea. And who knows? Maybe we got more time than we deserved. I think about that a lot. Maybe there's a story in the Bible, is it Hezekiah, where he was an honorable man before God, and he was going to die, and the prophet told him, "You're not going to recover." And then he said, "Remember how I followed you all my days, Lord?" And he gave him 15 more years. And I often wonder, maybe Andrea should have died 5 years ago. Now it's windy. That's just so funny. Wind comes from cold and hot mixing together. That causes wind. So it was pretty hot today, and now it's cooling off pretty fast. So there are no accidents. It's a point of time for us all, no matter what anybody says or does. Just have faith. Yep, and yet God still wants us to pray. He can still heal people. But, Chigga Marie, I feel your pain. I feel the same thing. I wonder the same things. But understanding is not a requirement of obedience. So I hang on to that. Hey there, Vicky. We oftentimes pray selfishly. Yeah, I think that's true, but isn't that the definition of prayer? I mean, the Bible does say to pray for all those who are in authority over us, and to always offer prayers and petition, and all those types of things, but generally prayer is things we know about. You don't pray about things you don't know about. Maybe you generally pray for situations, but I think that's part of it, though. We live our life trying to combat selfishness in our lives. I don't know, ISFJ today. I have to research more to what that means. Introverted, sensing, feeling, judging. Well, hey, Holly, good to see you. Pray because it makes me feel better. That's true, too. There's go with you in eternity. I like to think everyone has a basket filling up with prayers overflowing. There's a spot in, is it Acts 10, when Cornelius, who was not a Jew, who was giving to the poor and doing things, it says, your gifts to the poor have come up as a memorial offering. Your prayers and gifts to the poor have come up as a memorial offering before me. And so God sent Peter to him to save his family. And so God hears those things and sees these things, and that doesn't mean things are going to change, or maybe they do change. That's the other part. You pray and you feel like, Andrea died anyways. But again, she could have died 5 years ago. Maybe I got more time than I was allotted. What about the scripture that's pray without ceasing? Yeah, that's pretty much the whole scripture. But I used to think about that all the time. How do you pray without ceasing? Obviously, prayer is something different than being necessarily formal. God hears all your hearts, right? He judges the thoughts and the attitudes of the heart. And so he hears what you say. You might as well be saying it to him. So having that attitude always being open before him. I took the test last night and hit the button and nothing happened. Maybe I confused it. I'm probably just a bug. I'd try it again. So 9 months later, have you found yourself able to look at any boxes of her belongings or watch videos of her, or is it still just as hard? Do the kids talk about her? That's a good question. I seem to do it in little bits and pieces. I'll go through times where I'm watching, I'll do live video. I can handle the live dinners. Every now and then I see a lot of people, the channel's I think growing again, and I see people commenting a bunch of old videos, and there's a couple of old video titles come up like, oh, I want to watch that. And someone commented on one today about my one big money tip. And I'm trying to think, I wonder what she said there. I mean, I know what all our money tips would be, and I'm sure it's just not living it beyond your means, but I wanted to click on it, but I didn't. It's still pretty hard. It's still pretty hard. I find myself opening the same thing of belongings here and there, stuff that she had in her purse or whatever, and I would look at it for like 5 minutes thinking that I'm going to look at these things, and I decide I don't want to look at them, and I put them away. So the kids talk about her time to time. They'll mostly in memories. Remember when Mom would do this, or you don't cook it this way, remember Mom would cook it that way? Those types of things. What was that about tips? Do you have any tips to how to potty train my daughter? Well, I think every time you potty train, you get a random grab bag of tricks. So our general system was to have set times throughout the day. It's very hard when it's very starting out. But if you don't do it early on, it becomes a problem. But to have set times where you sit them on the potty for a set amount of time, 10 minutes or something, or 5 minutes, or whatever you can take. And so at such and such a time, no matter if they have to go or not, you sit them on the potty, and when they're done, you give them a little M&M or something. You get a whole little bag of candy, and we'll give them one of them every time they go sit on there. And you hope that they accidentally go potty in one of those times, and you can praise them. That seems to work really well if you can catch it like that. So, but if they haven't gotten it in a couple weeks, we usually put them back in diapers again and try it again a month later. We've had some success with some of the kids of saying, we're going to do it on this day, it's coming up, 5 more days, 4 more days, 3 more days, and as soon as the day comes, we'll go and take all of their underwear and throw them in the trash together and say, or the diapers or whatever, and say no more, we get some special, underwear of their characters or whatever, and they don't want to pee in these because they're really special, but sometimes it doesn't work out. The tribute video I made for Andrea, lots of people commented, they're praying you had 30,000 views today. I don't know if you did or not. I can't recall. Wonder if that works for dogs. Oh, it certainly, potty training for dogs? Dogs are usually pretty darn smart. You having to potty train a dog? Send me a link to that video, Tammy. I think I have seen it, but go to bed. 3:30 a.m. rolls over pretty fast. Wow. Thank you, Tiffany. We really appreciate it. Do the potty dance for my boys. One of my youngest asked me not to do the dance. See, when we had Thomas, it was hard potty training him. And then we were going to try new techniques with Asher. And we were we had him potty trained in half a day. Again, Asher the genius. Who is that? Who is there? Hold on, no, close the door. I don't know who you are or whether or not you're dressed. What are you doing, baby girl? In a little bit I will, okay? Go back and lay in bed. I'm doing a video. That was Claudia. She was dressed, though. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, yeah. Asher. We thought Asher was a genius. We were like, we are potty training wizards, boy. We potty train him in half a day, no accidents ever. And we just realized later on Asher is just a natural genius at life. So we thought we were awesome. And then Judah came around, and we were like, it was a nightmare. It was by far the worst of all of our kids. Judah was the worst. Use Cheerios for medicine to make sure you hit the potty. Oh, there you go. I've heard that one. Hey, Sandy. Does Hannah suck her fingers like Claudia did? No. We always liked it when they sucked their fingers, because then we didn't have to worry about losing their pacifier. But Hannah never had a pacifier. We skipped that whole thing. She was nursing one day, and then Andrea died, and then that was the end of it. Pretty much on to solid foods right then and there. Well, hey Liz, good to see you. Where are we going? To Outback Steakhouse. We go over your anniversary of the passing of your mom. Oh, that's a good idea, Joan. The true boys are easier to potty train than girls. I think that's true, yes. Yes, that's true. I don't know why that is. Me and Andrea would talk a lot about the difference between men and women and boys and girls. And boys are very singularly minded. I'm sure I shared with you guys the waffles and spaghetti thing, if you haven't heard that. The idea is that men are waffles, meaning that they all have little squares. And if you're in this square, you're not in those other squares. And when I'm in this square, I'm in this square. And girls or women are like spaghetti. So you touch one noodle and you touch the whole plate of noodles. You can't just touch one noodle. And so everything's related to women. And so I think that maybe is part of the reason why it's like, this is what I'm doing. This is my job, to pee in that thing. Got it. You know, once you get them in that box, they take care of it. Those first days were very rough for baby Hannah. Yeah, I don't know. We did some FaceTime with them, but Asher was there for her. We were really glad. Andrew was so glad we had Asher. Well, hey, Kelly, good to see you. Asher looked like Hannah when he was a baby. Looks so peaceful swinging. Well, I guess looks can be deceiving. It is nice out here. It is nice out here. Things have still been hard. I had a dream about her day before yesterday, that messed me up, and she, it's funny, whenever I dream about her, it's like she's never dead. But this time I dreamed about her, and all of a sudden I was really sad, and she came in there and was like, I couldn't believe that she was alive. And she says, well, we do need to spend some time together, but I got some stuff to do over here, so I'm going to go finish this up and we can hang out after that. I was like, okay, that sounds good. And I'm just going to go to sleep. And I was already in my dream, so I had an inception going on. So then I went to sleep in my dream. Now, as I'm falling asleep, I called her back in, and I said, why did you pretend to be dead? And she told me something about Pioneer Woman, which is a brand of cutlery, which doesn't make any sense. You know how dreams don't make sense. And she was trying to tell me, I was getting mad, like, I couldn't believe you would do that to me. But then I woke up, and it was just a dream. Do you believe in mediums? I do not. But I don't know. I've never seen that before. I don't believe it's accurate. But I can never prove. All I can ever prove about is my own experience. Hi, Courtney. I'm okay. Doing all right. Need to embrace that she is there. Yeah, but she's not here. Oh my goodness. Let it go. What do you miss the most about Andrea? I miss that she's not here. That's about it. There's not a specific thing. She was a whole bunch of things all together. I thought I had my life figured out, but I absolutely did not. Dreams are our brains trying to work things out. It's a process. I think about dreams a lot. I contemplate a lot about dreams. I have some pretty interesting thoughts about what dreams could be, but most of you guys would think I'm crazy. I look so relaxed. Everybody keeps saying that, but I don't feel very relaxed. I should have my new GoPro thing tomorrow, so if all goes well and I get it and it works okay, maybe I'll do another bike ride video. I'm not sure how long the batteries last. I'm not sure if they can last an hour or not, but is Asher driving now? No, we dropped the ball on taking him to take his test. I told him we'll take him maybe sometime soon. I've been telling him that for weeks though, but we'll get him there one of these days. Oh, yeah. The little ones asleep? I don't know. So asleep is an interesting word. They're in bed anyways. Time for a bike ride about. I've been riding my bike anywhere between 6 to 7. That's when I usually start. That ensures that I get back with enough time. I went for 12 miles the other day, and that took about an hour and 20 minutes. I wasn't pushing myself on speed. But I'm trying to figure out the difference if I really push myself versus not pushing myself. I don't actually think it saves that much time. One time I kept the average speed at a minimum of 8 miles an hour, no matter if it was uphill or downhill or whatever. And it took me an hour and 1 minute to go 10 miles. But then when I did 12 miles with no pushing myself, I still managed to do it in an hour and 20 minutes. So. Thank you, Cindy. Wondered if dreams are a way of God talking to us, but I have some crazy dreams. I think the same things. I gotta work out in the morning, can't do afternoons, no energy. Well, I got no time, so. What about dreaming of my husband and sons? When I wake up, I just go back to sleep with them, and that probably sounds crazy. No, that doesn't sound crazy. Good evening, Linda. You heard there's a bay shortage right now. People are short on bays? I'm not sure what you mean there. February this year was so happy and so sad too. I really remember my dreams. That seems to be me. I'll go through phases of remembering them and not remembering them. Glad to hear your biking is probably relieving, good for your mental health. My therapy is my garden. I used to love running. I have a hard time getting away, but for young children. Oh, I hear you there. Young children, only for young children is very difficult. I have some older ones and some younger ones, so they can watch each other. But I've never been one to say exercise is really good for you and it's good for your brain. No, I would never have thought any of those things. But I do know that I enjoy it, and I enjoy the momentum I'm getting and doing it frequently, and getting my heart, getting some cardio going. I've been wanting to do more cardio forever, and now I'm actually doing it. Wake up at 6, Tom. No, that's just not me, Holly. It's just not me. Never going to be me. What's the next project after the bathroom? Oh, man. Probably got to finish the girls' room. If I could do sewing, if I can get the sewing stuff done. And then I got a bunch of outdoor projects to do. Swinging has a calming effect, good for the soul. Oh, really? I don't know. It's been nice here. Are you doing a Walmart trip on the 24th? Yep, I will be. It will not be live. Walmart and live has not worked out ever, so. Well, hey, Riff, Good to see you. England, huh? Saw Hannah, her baby shark costume. Yellow was her color. She looks beautiful. That was really cute. It was really cute. What type of sewing do you need done? I need to make some dividing curtains for the girls' beds. It's dangerous anytime we have all life figured out. God, life, relationships, the way of presenting us with times to grow and change, often when we don't want to. I think that's probably true. I lost my son. I walked every day just to feel normal and connect with God and nature. I was walking nearly every day. I did not feel normal, but I felt a tiny bit less crappy. And so I was walking a lot, and now I've transferred that to riding my bike. I get to see scenery that I've never seen before. I get to be out in the middle of nowhere and see things I've never looked at. I used to have this random thought, like when I would drive by, I'd see a tree out in the middle of a field, far away in the distance. And I think, when's the last time somebody had a picnic under that tree, or even touched that tree for that matter? And I think especially out here, a lot of these trees have never been touched by a human being their entire life. And I wanted to be the first person to ever touch that tree, or to touch this flower or this piece of grass or something. And I really enjoyed just riding my bike real far. And I'm playing a little game of if I can mentally create a dummy from trash on the side of the road. So I find a shoe over here, and I find a hat and some glasses over here. And I haven't seen any shirts or pants, but I kind of hope I don't see those. But that's my own little game. I'm trying to find garbage on the side of the road that equal out to a full clothing set. Started listening to the Bible as I slept like you recommended, and boy, you talk about some interesting dreams. Oh yeah, that's for sure. You need help with the curtains? I don't know if I need help. I got a lot of fabrics and stuff, and traditionally we let the girls pick out whatever fabric they want. And so we'll probably do something where like a nicer fabric on the outside, and they can pick whatever they want on the inside and do like a double-sided fabric thing. But I don't want help. I mean, I really appreciate the offer for the help. I have a lot of people offer. But this is something I have to do. I have to learn to sew and do it. I have to finish it. It was something me and Andrea did, and I want to finish the room, just me and her. So I'll get it, but I just need to do it. To the Walmart, well, that was Andrea's best. Yep, they were fun trips. Hey there, Patricia. Crazy Trinitarian. That's pretty fun. Or is that Trin-Tran? I tell you a crazy Trinitarian better, but that's still a good one. Will they let you film in Walmart now? There was a problem with that one time. I think the problem stems from the lives. I had sensed a couple times they asked us to stop. I have talked with my friend who's the manager, and they had a lot of people complain when I was live. So no one's complained when I'm not live. So we'll continue doing it that way. Andrew, be surprised that you kept. I missed. That you kept the channel going, or did she know you would? I only found her a few months before she got sick. I'm glad you kept it going. No, I think she knew. In fact, she said something when we were. I think I've shared this before, but she mentioned that the two things in her life that she was debating getting rid of to get more time in our family, because that was what it was. She didn't have any time either, and it was beneficial to our family was to get rid of the Samaritan Ministries, not just for time, that's for money, because we had never used it. We had been putting money into it for years and never ever had a claim. So she thought, well, do we even need that? I don't know if we need that. And then the YouTube channel. Not because she didn't want to get rid of the YouTube channel, but because she'd have so much more time for our family if she didn't. And then she said, those two things, it says, it's funny, those two things that I wanted to get rid of, that I was considering getting rid of, and now I'm super glad for, because they'll be there for you. Meaning the money, we'll have the money, they're going to pay the bills, and the YouTube people are here to talk to. I was doing the live streams at that point. Let's live on the road since isolation. Interesting. Why didn't you do lives more when she was alive? The lives are great. Well, it was never an idea. We did the live dinner. That was my idea originally, and that worked well. But Andrea wasn't much into the live. We just didn't do it. We hadn't thought about it as an option for a valuable thing. And now it's just so easy to just push the button and just go and talk. And it's so helpful to me. If it wasn't so therapeutic for me, we wouldn't have half the lives that we have. And so it's enjoyable, and I'm sure that's the reason. Great dad, wonderful provider, every one of those babies, unique and brand new. Well, thank you very much. Well, good to see you. BC, that's in British Columbia. Yeah, I've left to do in the girls' room. Well, there's a checklist on the door. I think there's a little bit of painting I have to do. I got to hang the curtain up with the girls' bedroom window. Someone sent a really beautiful curtain, and I just haven't hung it up yet. And then I got to do the curtains for the girls' beds. There was going to be a bulletin board done for each of their beds, and I never did that. I should probably do that just because it says it on there. Hello, Christine. That was a weird question. 541 people, wow. Well, I appreciate all of you guys. You guys are my YouTube family, and very much appreciate all of you. Yep, Andrea's grandpa built this porch swing. It hung on their house in Buffalo, Wyoming. Andrea used to tell me stories of going out to Grandma's house, Grandma Fern's husband. And they'd go out there, all the grandkids would be out there playing and having fun, and they would sit on this porch swing. And so when they moved, they wanted to give the swing to somebody, and Andrea's like, I'll take it. And I believe at the time, she didn't even have a house or anything, but she wanted it. Oh, thank you, Maria. Hi, Barb. What was that? My mother's been gone 62 years. She died when I was 16. Never met my daughters. I know how that is. My dad died when I was 10. I often wonder what he would think of me. Cartwheels. Oh, that's random, for sure. 132 likes. Oh, you guys can do better than that. 500 people here and only 100 people can put up likes. Come on, put some likes down there. 4:20 a.m. here in Ireland, watching and remembering Andrea, thinking of you all. Well, thank you, Bernadette. That's pretty early over there. Well, I appreciate you guys as well. Change my daughter's personality. She watched them grow up. Did Andrea ever mention her last wishes? She passed away? Nope. That was not ever something we ever talked about. The only time we ever talked about death was that, I told you, we had a conversation probably half a dozen times about, she would say it out of nowhere. We would just be sitting there, and she'd say, you know, if you ever died, I would never remarry. I was like, really? And she says, yep. And I said, I don't know what I would do. And she says, oh, you'd remarry. And that's about all we ever talked about with regards to either of us dying. I did share with her that I could put up with anybody dying except for her. She knew that. But that's how it goes. What's going on in the garden this year? Right now, a whole lot of nothing. It's probably a good time to be planting. I have one of those heritage seed kits, you know, for emergencies or whatever that I've had down in the basement for a few years. And it's about the time I should try to use those seeds up so they don't go bad and get a new one of those if I ever need them. And I thought about planting those. We'll plant something. We have a bunch of corn. We all love corn. I thought we'd plant a bunch of spinach. Spinach and corn. Those are the two things on my list. Plus whatever Andrea planted. So we have a whole bed of strawberries that'll replant themselves this year. They'll come back. And we got asparagus. They'll be there. I'm sure some onions are probably hanging around. I don't know what else. We'll see. What would Andrea put here, right? Kids interested in gardening at all? I mean, I think they have fun doing it. I don't know if I've ever said, I'm interested in gardening. They all enjoy it when we do it. And they all had their own little spots that they took care of. and we'll do that again if I can bring myself to get out there and do it. Time is just so hard. Today, all I had to do, I dropped the van off at the mechanic. And even that, getting that to happen has been so difficult. Hey, Paula. Homeschooling is great. You need to homeschool. Not many widowed dads could do that. I couldn't do it if I didn't have help. Did you ever write Andrea's book, or would you ever write your own book one day? Anything's possible. I don't have a book in me right now. Andrea's book was about unassisted home birth. I don't think I'm capable of writing that book. Do you pressure can foods, Tom? I don't. Andrea did, and I've got one. But, we have the rhubarb. Yep, we have rhubarb. We checked the asparagus. I bet there are lots by now. It's a little early, but I can go check. What did you get your mom for Mother's Day? Just some flowers. Family eating chili. Have you acquired a taste for chili yet? I was on the verge of enjoying, maybe liking chili, but I haven't got there yet. I haven't had it again yet. And now that Andrea's not making it, I don't know that I ever have a desire to try. But thank you again for the lies. You're probably helping a lot of people. Oh, the lives. Thank you. Well, yeah, I'm glad, Carol. So the flowers, when they bloom, I hope they do bloom. Why was she so passionate about unassisted home birth? I'm judging by the amount of your question marks that you don't like unassisted home birth. I will just point out the fact that doctors have only been involved with birthing babies for a very short time in our human history. For the vast majority of our time, people had babies by themselves. It's a natural body function that we've given up to other people. And that's when it started causing problems. And now we go to the doctors for everything. So you guys know our opinions about that. I think the doctors are great for things you need, acute injury. If you break an arm, you need to go to the doctor. But if you have the sniffles, perhaps there's a better option than going to the doctor. Question 3C, I'm not sure. Your life on track, you don't have to worry about having a garden, it can wait. Part of me just wants to anyways. It's just a question mark so you can notice it. Oh, okay. I see. Sorry, I detected stuff when I shouldn't have detected it. So no, that's basically what it is. That was a continuing theme in our conversation, is how much we as humans have given up to other people. I've talked about the term tyranny of the experts. We are ruled by experts in our lives. You don't learn things because science says that, if you don't eat an apple a day, you'll die of cancer. Or science says that if you smoke a cigarette, it takes 7 minutes off your life. Or, science says. And so because of all that science saying, we do very little exploration and experimentation on our own. And we give up our lives, our whole lives, to other people. We don't train our kids up anymore. We send them off to be trained by other people. We don't give birth to our own babies anymore. We got to go to somebody else to give birth to our babies for us. We aren't in control of our lives anymore. If you need anything, there's an expert in your life to go talk to. And I think we need to do more on our own and rely less on other people in general. Business of being born, yeah, we did. Oh, man, that's great. He's awesome. Asher's going to think that's hilarious. My last child of 7 was completely unassisted. Not even my hubby was there. It was the best. Well, that's awesome, Mama Gypsy. Just don't mention them, guys. Don't even bring them up. How did Andrea discover home birth? Through a friend, book, etc.? I think she's wanted to do it. She heard about somebody doing it when she was younger, very young, and she thought, that's interesting, and she would thought it was crazy. But she thought, maybe that would be something to think about. And anyways, it was on the shelf for a long time. And then when we got married and we had a baby or two, she's like, I think I'd like to do that. I'm like, you're crazy. We're not doing that. And she kept working on me, and I start seeing, again, the tyranny of the experts. I don't like giving up. That's why we homeschool. We homeschool because training our children is our responsibility, nobody else's. That's why that's why we had herbal medicines at home. That's why it's not that we didn't trust or go to doctors. We did if we needed them, but we didn't want to give up control of our lives to other people. We wanted to be in control of our own lives. And so that goes right along with those things. You can't learn about God. You need a preacher to teach you about God. You can't, of course, no one would actually say you can't learn about God, but that's kind of the way we live our life. If you really want to be close to God, you got to go to church. And again, nothing wrong with going to church. Don't hear me wrong. But we just have an expert on everything, and I think that it changes our life and how we live our lives here. Gave birth at home 5 times. I can't even remember now how many we had at home. I want to say 4 we had at home. Only 2 unassisted. 2? Yeah, I think 2. I think 2 with a midwife. I'm pretty sure that's correct. Hey, man, fan, good to see you. I agree with you, Tom. Well, thank you. Unassisted midwife home births have been trending this year. Well, have you ever? I mean, you're never going to see them because those communities don't like this option. They want you to go to the doctor, and it's a very beneficial thing. I think the last baby we had in the hospital was over $10,000. You know how much it cost to have Hannah together? It cost about $100 to have Hannah. We had a lot of the stuff already. And so we just buy a couple things and we were good. And it's big business. And so, of course, there's things that can go wrong. But if things go wrong, you can get to the hospital. That's just how it goes. And so we think it's great. We think it's great. It's very liberating and free. And it was just us and the Lord trusting Him. And I really like it. Right, exactly. Just mention them. Just don't talk about them. As soon as I get rid of them, all their messages disappear. Nobody ever sees them. Nobody ever did see them. Just a couple people who were here. That's why you have health insurance. Yeah, there's a difference between health insurance and I'm going to go to the hospital to have a baby right now. That's true. Be able to homeschool. Is ACE International only used in America? No, they use it all over the world. I only had one. He's 22. Midwife yanked the placenta. Oh, that's no good. Start basing life at home. The world started going. Yeah, I hear you. How'd you feel one of your kids became a doctor and healthcare worker? That's totally fine. Great profession. Good money, and I enjoy helping people. The doctor we do go to is a family doctor. We really enjoy him, and he's a really nice guy. He's a little bit far away. He's about 90 miles away. We had 2 of our babies there, 3 maybe. And he's a good mix of good medicine and good care without freaking out. It's finding good doctors is a good challenge. And again, I'm not against doctors at all. Don't misunderstand. Doctors do a wonderful thing. But a doctor can do nothing for a virus. Nothing. So, I mean, nothing for the flu, nothing for, all that. And yet, how many people go to the doctor for the flu? I mean, they get some antibiotics prescribed to them and they don't need them. It's bad for your body. Yet, we still run and do those things. And And I just don't think you need to go to the doctor for everything. If your back hurts, maybe you're just getting old. Maybe you need to go to the doctor. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. But I think we should not be so quick to rush to the experts all the time. Walk with the Lord is such an awesome feeling to know we are so capable of so much more. Yeah. You know, I had a revelation. One of the things that that was a lot to me when I think I've shared this story before, but when I first got married to Andrea, I worked at Arby's, and you know, I don't know how I was going to support a family on Arby's wages, and so I went out. I wanted to get another job, and there was a job available that paid very well, but it was commission, and that was very scary to me. But it was the wage we needed, and I was very introverted. I was not like this, where I could just talk to people and be nice and friendly and all that outgoing stuff, because I'm not an outgoing person by nature. But so I went and got this sales job selling furniture. And so after about a year or so, I became the #1 salesperson. I was the #1 salesperson for like 2 or 3 years in a row. And there was a time when I realized on commission, it was really scary because you didn't know how much you were going to make. Maybe you'll make nothing. And so it made me trust God a little more. And I'm not saying that you can't trust God and get a steady paycheck, but when you weren't counting on an exact amount of a paycheck or a steady amount, you trust God more. And the same thing about insurance. Insurance isn't bad. We have insurance. Insurance is great and necessary in this world today. But if you didn't have insurance, would you feel more scared about what could happen with your life? I think you would. I think that's natural. But yet we shouldn't still be scared. We shouldn't still be worried. We should trust God with our lives. So. Good night, Backyard Farm. Good to see you. Nurses do all the work anyways. There's a lot of things like Pitocin, they get from monkeys, is not natural. It's not good. It makes the contractions very hard. It also causes women not to progress, and almost every single birth done in a hospital uses Pitocin, and that causes the contractions to be very, very hard. And a lot of times that makes it hard to push. It makes it hard to progress. And that a lot of times that's what happens. They get Pitocin and the baby's not coming. The more Pitocin, the baby's not coming. Before you know it, the baby's in distress and they have to go have a C-section. And the amount of C-sections we have in this life, in this world, is ridiculous. Ridiculous. And it's very common for a doctor to want to do it. 1, because it makes them more money. 2, because they can do it on their schedule. They can say, oh, come in, we'll give you a birth right now. I have some time. As opposed to being 3 a.m. in the morning and calling the doctor at home because you're going to labor. They hate that stuff. Backyard Farm was a commenter. She was going to bed and I was saying good night. God helps those who help themselves. So insurance. There's no verse that says God helps those who help themselves. That is complete wives' tale. Backyard Farm to me, thanks. Medical emergency and emergency C-section, it sucked. I hear ya. Good to see you, Martha. I was born by C-section because the cord was wrapped around my neck. I was born by C-section too. I think all my mom's babies were born by C-section. And of course, once you have a C-section, they don't want you to have VBACs. So they tell you they're very, very unsafe and it's terrible and you're going to tear something or blah, blah, blah. And I think it's completely incorrect as well. You can still have a natural birth after a C-section. Doctors don't want you to have natural births. If you look at the rate that C-sections happen, it's insane. Insane. And I think that that entire concept of why it's insane is one of our problems we've had with medical industry. Again, nothing wrong with doctors. Doctors are amazing, and we're so grateful to have people that can do all the things they can do is just incredible. I just think it's not even just doctors. I just mentioned preachers too. We rely on our preachers to give us our food for God. We rely on our doctors to give us health for our bodies. We rely on the car mechanic to fix our cars. We rely on the grocery store clerk to give us our food. We have somebody who controls every sphere of our life. And as a result, we're not in control of any of our life. have to go full screen with the chat. There's so many people giving such great comments and I can't see any of them. How old is Judah? Judah's going to be 15. Doesn't God control life anyways? Sure, he does. But we also have free will. So that's, of course, an interesting dichotomy between those two things. But I think God can control things. I think often he just allows us to make our own mistakes or to go our own way. And I think he can intervene whenever he wants, and how often he intervenes, I'll never know. But I think that this world was created by God for a purpose. I personally believe it's a test. Andrea called it a spiritual nursery, to grow up for the next life. And so I think that these things and struggles and things we deal with in our life are things that God wants to see us work out. It's not so we can have a comfortable life, asking God to take away all of our problems and give us money and wealth and health and all these things. That's not what our goal is on this world. The problems and the pain and the evil and the suffering that's here, all the things we have to go through, and not even on the suffering, just deciding, should I trust him for this? Should I trust him for that? What should I do? I don't know what to do. He wants us to see us go through those things. He wants to see how we handle them, to have faith. It's the parable of the talents. He gives 1 5, 1 1, 1 10, and he wants to see if they put them to work later. Not in control of our lives. I believe God, and I believe God doesn't know this life. Vitamin B12 injections every 3 months. Oh yeah, those are great. How's Justus? We haven't seen him much. I guess you haven't, huh? We'll do another live video where we're at the park or something, hanging out one of these days. Watch Hannah being born at least 4 times, one of my favorite videos. That makes me cry every time, just that intro. You went into the doctor for everything. The human body is so amazing, no need for that. Yeah, you're right, Anae Silva. You're exactly right. But at the same time, that's what we've been taught. So I don't fault anybody for doing these things. I don't fault you for going to the doctor all the time. I don't fault you for going to the mechanic all the time or going to the preacher all the time. That's the way we were raised. That's how all of us were raised. We were raised, especially in America, in a world of experts. And so that's just what you do. When you get sick, you go to the doctor. And if that's what was done with you, that's how everybody does around you, why would you do anything different? And so we just started saying, hey, what does God say about us raising our child? What should we do when we train our children? And of course, we came to certain conclusions about what God wants us to do for training our children. And so we do that. What does God want us to do regarding health? What does God want us to do versus all these things? And even if it's not about what God would do, what a free man do? What should we do? As opposed to always going to somebody else. Any advice where to start finding information? Andrea's got a whole bunch of videos about home births. So you can sure check it. I think there's a whole playlist on that stuff. So you can go check the playlist on our channel, and you can find all kinds of great information, and Andrea will share more resources there as well. Hold on a second. Who's there?
Dad?
Baby girl, what are you doing?
We only have one night and it's only like, so I came out here to ask you if you could light some of our candles.
No candles, but I ordered some new night lights actually, so they're going to be here sometime soon, but they're not here yet. Okay? Just go lay back down for now. I recently ordered some new night lights because they've all lost their night lights. And don't even care which conclusion you guys come to. Maybe you guys come to a conclusion that's totally different from mine. I don't care. I just want us all to think about our own lives and make decisions on purpose. We should live our lives on purpose and make decisions on purpose. Don't just do whatever everybody says. Doctor says you need to start chemo. Did you hear about that guy? I forget his name now. But he was prescribing chemo to people for like 30 years who didn't have cancer. And he got convicted for a bajillion life sentences. And the doctor, because he was making him lots of money. And someone finally caught him. They had to go to a different doctor because the blood work person was gone that day, so they had to go somewhere else to get something done. And the guy said, wait, what are you getting? For what? And they said, don't ever go back to that doctor again. There's nothing wrong with you whatsoever. And that's how the guy got found out. And all these people came forward, and tons of people had died. I'm not saying all doctors are that way. But how many people say, oh, I need chemo? Oh, I do? Okay, I'll just take chemo. And I'm not even saying you shouldn't take chemo. That's not even my point. My point is, consider your decisions. Think about every decision you make on your life, whether you go right or left, or up or down, to the doctor or not to the doctor, or herbal, or homeopathic, or medicine, or not even that. What you do about your car, what you do about your kids, what you do about what you're going to plant in the garden, and just make decisions on purpose instead of just doing what somebody told you to do. How is Solly doing? He's doing great. And he hasn't been watching his hats very much. He's been wearing hats. He's been combing his hair a lot and enjoying combing his hair. Yes, that was her in Michigan. My son's best friend mom died of chemo and she did not have cancer. Oh, thank you, Carol. Whatever you do, do it because you made the decision. Don't just do it because some guy told you you should have chemo. Okay, let's do it. Don't make every decision that quickly. Just think about it. Maybe there is something else you can do. And Andrea would challenge me that all the time. And she'd say, I'd say, the car needs this. Why don't you try to teach it with the kids and take it apart and do it yourself? And I'm like, I can't do that. I don't know the first thing about cars. What if I can't put it back together? So you'll figure it out. And I would never do that. I never did do that. I changed my brakes once, and I felt wonderful doing it. I don't have the time now for doing any of those sorts of things. But just to think about what we do. Always have a second opinion. Yeah, maybe that's how you do it. Maybe that's what you do. And again, we don't even care what you choose to do. Maybe you do everything exactly the same as you've been doing them now. But just do it for the right reasons. Don't just automatically put your kid in a public school because that's what everybody does. I mean, if that's what you want to do and that's what works for you and you think that's what's best for your kids, then that's what you should do. But if that's not what you think is best for your kids, then maybe you shouldn't do that. Or maybe you should do something else. Or maybe it's, you could substitute anything under the sun into that category. Let's just not live passively, reading a magazine and then copying whatever the magazine says to do. Many doctors and nurses for misfortune. There are many honest, dedicated healthcare professionals working hard to save lives. I don't know how that's related to anything I was talking about. I'm glad doctors are working hard to save lives. That's not what I said in the slightest. And I hope you're not saying that it's okay to prescribe things that are not good for you, that you don't need, even though you don't have cancer, to get chemo. Because there were people doing that. I'm not saying the doctors are doing that now, but that absolutely has happened. So I don't mean anything against anybody. I think doctors do wonderful things. But medical accidents, that's a real thing. That's a real thing, causing a lot of cause. That's the second leading cause of death. Expert. My husband died. I was shocked at how many meds he was taking. There were 2-gallon baggies full of meds, and not counting the ones he had to be kept in the fridge. And maybe he needed that. I'm not even saying that they don't need those things. I don't know. I don't understand those things or how they work. But I can guarantee you that if a doctor told you need to take this pill, we would just swallow it. We wouldn't look at what it does, what its side effects are, what its chances of success are. If a doctor recommended you take this, you would take it. And I think that maybe is the mistake that I'm talking about. I brought this up the other day. You guys remember when I was doing one of the live Walmart videos, and I think about this all the time now. And I took that cart that was sitting outside in the outside cart corral, because I said that on the video that my logic was sun kills things and kills bacteria, and so I'm going to get this cart that's in the sun, so in case there was any bacteria or coronavirus on it or whatever, that it would be killed by the sun. As soon as I took that, I had a whole bunch of people, you can go back and watch the video now and see the chat, say, no, Tom, they say that it likes the heat. And so if you grab that one, you're actually going to more of a chance of getting coronavirus. And I didn't listen, I got that card anyways. And then it came out later, like a week or two later, that the sun actually does kill, ultraviolet does kill coronavirus in a matter of minutes. And I think it's funny because that was my internal logic, so that's what I did. And I'm not even faulting any people that said this, I really am not. But other people would have heard that, oh, it likes the heat and it doesn't like the cold, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to get this cart. And maybe you would have done that originally on your own. But now you didn't do it because you saw someone on TV say so. And then later on you learned that they were absolutely wrong. And if you had just followed your gut to begin with, you would have been safer. And I'm not saying that always is going to work out to be the case, but it was a good example of what I was going through. Litigious society, also doctors also paid by patient satisfaction surveys. That's true. If we had tort reform, that would change everything. But why don't they do that? Why is it that a doctor can set a broken thumb and do something, make a mistake, set the thumb incorrectly, and have to pay millions upon millions of dollars for not setting the thumb correctly? What does that make the doctor want to do? That makes the doctor not want to set thumbs anymore. It makes him not want to help people anymore. You know, if you can be sued for something, and of course there are bad doctors out there, and there's these people I was just telling you about prescribing chemo and there was no one sick. So there's obviously bad people, and so you do want to have something you can do. But I heard one of the ideas for tort reform to be whoever loses the lawsuit has to pay all the fees, and that would stop all our fake lawsuits all the time. And a lot of people you can see all the time people throwing themselves in front of cars so they can. There's tons of cams. You can watch giant videos on YouTube, a pure compilation of people throwing themselves in front of cars to try to pretend that they got hit so they can sue and get a bunch of money. And dash cams all put those things to rest. But that's the society we live in. Live 7 months. Oh, that's awesome, Nina. Practicing medicine. And again, don't think I'm being hard on doctors. I absolutely am not. I think doctors are amazing. But you remember when those times when you can think about a situation where I want to be a doctor when I grow up. Why? I just love helping people. Remember when people would want to be a doctor because they wanted to help people, they loved people? Why do people become doctors now? Not always, but generally because it's a very high-paying profession. And that's the general pull now. It's no longer people that just want to help people, it's motivated by money. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with getting a high-paying job. Nothing at all. But finding people that are genuinely concerned, like I've met doctors who, when they go home, they think about the patients. They think, I wonder if this would work. I wonder if that would work. I read about this new study that possibly might benefit this person, and blah, blah, blah. And doing things like that, finding a doctor that actually engages and cares, rather than just, what do you have? You have that, turn to page 42. Prescribe this, perform this treatment. Okay, and just doing that. I think finding good doctors can be difficult. Sorry about the wind, guys. I'll try to put this on the side over here. Maybe my head will block some of the wind. So I lay out in the sun 15 minutes every day to help my body get more of that heat, and vitamin D is supposed to help. Well, that's awesome. Just a number of doctors now. Well, you can be. I think that's because they have too many patients. If you go watch like Little House on the Prairie, If you ever watch that, me and Andrea really loved that show. You watch Little House on the Prairie, and the old doc comes to your house, and he knows you, he knows your family. You give him a couple chickens and some eggs, and he takes care of your daughter for you. Comes back later to check on her because he likes your family, likes you. I miss that kind of a society, rather than the society that your main doctor's out of the office today. You're going to be helped by Dr. So-and-so. You're like, okay, and you don't know who it is, don't care about them, they don't care about you. Because one doctor has to service so many people, partially in fact to how many people come in all the time for needless things. And you know, if it was more spread out, it might be more caring. Doctors are awesome. You must have found the one. We're not really looking for one. The doctors we use, we go to, we have Dr. Gonzalez in Buffalo. We think he's absolutely wonderful, and we think he's great. And I would go to him all the time. We just did. I took Judah in to see him a couple months ago, and that's great. We do have good doctors. It's just we're not looking for doctors. I'm not just criticizing doctors. I'd like to go back. I can talk about something else. Again, preachers. We can switch this whole conversation to preachers just as easy, in that we should be having a relationship with God on our own. We should be studying the Bible on our own. We shouldn't be waiting for one man to talk once a week for an hour or so about getting us our spiritual food. We should be studying on our own and not relegating our walk with God to somebody else. I think that that's just the wrong way to go about it. Again, doctors are just easy to talk about. Talking in circles almost every topic. They are horrible, they are great, they are right, they are wrong. Lots of experts. Well, if you don't like it, then you don't have to listen. This is just my opinions. If you certainly don't have to like it. What does your stepdad think about that? We talk about that all the time. Talk about that all the time. The results, you read a bunch of words, included the prostate appears normal and unchanged. I burst out laughing. Andrea, ever use turmeric? Yep, we got turmeric downstairs in our herbs. The longer you build a relationship with a doctor, the better they know you and your health. These quick urgent care doctors aren't as caring. That's true. At the same time, we found that the ER doctors were way good. Like the time we took Andrea to the doctor, ER, it's like everybody else was freaking out about her blood pressure, which, you know, there's no reason for it, but ER doctors are a lot less panicky. They know when your life's actually in danger and when it's not. So, but I agree with you, Caged. Well, the energy is unbelievably flawed, not the doctors. They're just a small piece of the mess. Yeah. I'm trying to put it into balance. If you think I'm talking in circles and you didn't get at all what I was saying. So, I apologize. I'm probably not explaining it very well. I think doctors do wonderful things. I just don't think we need to see them 5 times a year. I don't. See ya, Jenna. Trying to stop the wind from bothering you guys. To take before he is ready. Doesn't matter when you are, what you're doing. He knows where I am at all times. That's true. Well, it's getting pretty windy. I might have to go inside if the wind doesn't calm down. I notice Andrea looks swollen around her abdomen. She in pain before vlogging? I don't know if she was swollen around her abdomen. She had a big belly. She got a little bigger after every baby. But you notice on some of the last videos, her lymph nodes are really swollen, and that was definitely the cancer. So. Yeah, there's wind and wilding, that's for sure. You ever worry about your kids being behind? I only ask as a homeschooling mom because something that worries me. Well, you know, there's a couple options with that. Again, kids go at their own pace. I have some kids that are slower, some kids that are ahead. That's just how they go. Every kid is different. They don't wear the same size clothes. Why should they learn the same? So the problem with behind is it's all relative. It's behind compared to somebody else's kids somewhere. But as long as your kid learns these things, who matters? What does it matter how long that it takes? So I found most of the time our kids are ahead compared to other kids. Almost always our kids. We did standardized testing for many, many years, and they stopped doing the ACTs years back, and we kind of stopped doing them. And we switched to another one for a little while, but then we just kind of stopped doing the standardized testing. But every time we did the standardized testing, all of our kids tested far above normal on most subjects. Other rooms, they were right in there. Occasionally we'd have one that was a little bit behind in a subject, but it was always temporary, and it was gone the next year. So it's important, I think, not to judge them by any other standards, but by what they can do their best. If you have in your mind to compare kids to other people's kids, that's just another form of experts. It's another way of saying, oh, society says my kid should be doing this at this age, and if he's not, there's something wrong with him. And it's not. And a lot of times in certain circles, they'll get diagnosed as that. They'll get put in special classes, and I think a lot of times that can hurt the kid. They can think, oh, I'm dumb. I'm in a special class. And that's very bad for their self-esteem. And as opposed to just give them a little more time to figure things out, they're going to get it. So. I have to say, I believe she had fluid in her abdomen for a while. Some people, my sister had liver cancer, her abdomen looked bigger. She progressed. I don't know if she had any fluid. She had some gas building up from. It was an issue towards the end, but I don't know that she had fluid. Worked for schools in a decade, and I totally agree. Well, thank you, Jennifer. That's just my 2 cents on things. I don't know. I don't have the answers to everything. Well, hey, Aunt Josie, good to see you. Doctor told me flat out doesn't treat me. Government insurance treat me now. Wow. That sounds like a cool doctor. I'd totally go to that guy. Every now and then you'll find a really cool doctor. And Dr. Gonzalez is one of those for us. That's why we went there. When is Thomas graduating? Oh, well, when he finishes. We don't necessarily have him on a schedule. He's still doing his school here and there. He's slowed down a little bit, but he's still making progress. When he finishes all his work, he'll be done, however long that takes. They were swollen for years on one side. Oh, I don't know if they were swollen for years. Definitely towards the end, but she knew that they were, but we didn't know that that was a symptom. I didn't know that was a thing until after she was dead. I was told my oldest would never do any more than maybe cut grass. Ouch, that's terrible. Now he has a master's degree in early childhood education. Oh, that's awesome. You showed them. How long did Andrea have cancer? That's a good question. I don't have the answer to. Chances are it was very quick. I don't know if maybe it was building up or whatever, but with the type it was likely she had, it's a very, very aggressive one, I guess, and so it usually moves pretty darn fast. In fact, all the doctors said they've never seen anything like this. One guy said, I've been doing this for 30 years and I've never seen anything like this. I had 2 people that had something like this. And he said her renal function and her kidney function and her liver function was okay on Monday. They tested it every day, hourly almost. And it was okay on Monday and it was failing on Friday. And they had never seen anything move like that before. It's 71 right now, which is pretty warm for evening. Found out about lymph nodes and worked on it. God could have later passed from something else. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that it was going to be her time. I can't go back in time. Nobody can go back in time. And contrary to what you might see in a sci-fi movie, I don't think anybody will ever be able to go back in time. And so that was always going to be what happened, because that's what happened. Nothing could have done anything differently. So we would have made the same decisions that we made in the same situation over and over again. 6 in the morning in the Netherlands. Wow. Are you going to have your girls tested for the breast cancer gene? Yeah, I will. I will. Just because it comes out positive or negative doesn't necessarily mean anything. But we do. We're definitely going to get the test done, and we'll be more wary if they're positive. Ooh, lurker subscriber. Nice to see you, Caitlin. Thanks for breaking out of your lurker shell for a little bit for us. 73 in Phoenix. Well, I got a very cool breeze. It's very refreshing. But it's messing with the microphone, so. Put the collar up, maybe you won't. Yeah, what's the likes at right now? If you guys like this, you should hit the like button. It really helps. We've had lots of new people showing up lately, which has been great. Thomas has senioritis. Slacking on schoolwork because he's excited for graduation. I don't know that he's excited for graduation, but he is slacking on schoolwork. But he's still doing all right. He's doing fine. He'll get done. Good night, Andrea. Thanks for stopping by. Ooh, fellow Wyomingite lurker. Well, nice to see you, Lisa. We're pretty blessed to be living in Wyoming right now, aren't we? Doing all this stuff. 358 likes. So let's see how much it goes up. See how high we can get it. What's your day looking like tomorrow? Anything other than work? Well, tomorrow's my office day. I'm in the shop all day, and I have a pile of computers I need to fix and things I need to do. I'm a little stressed about it. Wednesday is already a pretty busy day for me. And I have a lot of people that wait for me being in the office on Wednesday to stop by and talk or look for advice on things. Well, hey, Elizabeth. Look at Lurker Pride. What do you think of unschooling? I think unschooling is great. Get into the hundreds at all in Wyoming? Very rarely. I think last year I didn't get over 100 once. But if it does get in over the 100, it's going to be just a couple times most of the time. Got swollen lymph nodes for years. They've only been watching and nothing to worry about. Andrea had been to a doctor a few months before you went to the hospital for stomach pain. Yeah, we went to the ER 3 times months before this, and they had extensive blood work done, and nobody was concerned about anything like this. That doesn't mean it wasn't happening. Have any career technical courses? I don't think ACE is in that. It's much more of a general type education. They do have some more customized elective type things you can take and do, but not necessarily things career oriented. Yeah, worrying about homeschooling here. Who or is they? Are the moms worried about homeschooling, or is it somebody else worried about homeschooling? What type of music do you listen to? I really enjoy weird music. So I like, I guess the easy way to listen to it would be, I love Enya, but you know, she's just a type. I don't listen to her very much these days. Lorena McKennitt, Black Noir's Night, Kate Price, Lindsey Sterling. I like a lot of different, I like beautiful music, things that are very beautiful sounding, I guess. You ever lived or wanted to live in a large city? Yeah, I lived 20 years right by LA. So I grew up in Southern California, and I'd never want to go back. So I always read the scripture, Jesus, tomb of Lazarus, comfort me to know he went through the same feelings of groaning agony. It says they are sleeping. I always wonder, Jesus wept. I wonder why he wept. He came there to raise the dead. It said that in the previous chapter. Let us go there that we may wake him up. and he said he was dead, but I am going there to wake him up. So he knew he was dead, so why'd he cry? So that's the part I think about. Did Jesus cry because he was sad that other people were sad? Or was he weeping about something else? I don't know why he was weeping, but I find that an interesting question I'd like to know the answer to. Think you whipped out empathy? Yep. Hi, Mom. That's generally the attitude I take on it, that he felt bad for the other people who were weeping there and saw their sorrow and pain. So it's possible. Hebrews says that Jesus says during his days on earth, he offered up prayers and petitions with loud cries and tears to the one who could save him from death. So Jesus would cry, we'd pray with loud cries and tears. So it was not a totally uncommon phenomenon for Jesus to weep. So it's possible maybe Jesus was thinking about being on the cross, or maybe he was thinking about something else altogether. But generally I go with the empathy is why he did it. Believe in reincarnation? No, I don't. I don't think it's compatible with the Bible, but heck, I've never been dead before that I know, so I can't prove anything on that subject. He did love Lazarus, he did. But he also knew he went there to raise Lazarus from the dead. He wasn't crying because he was dead, I don't think, because he knew he was there to raise him up. So I know he loved Lazarus, but I'm not sure that's why he was crying. I don't like the same music. Introduce me to Lorena McKennitt. I love it. Haunted and beautiful. Absolutely. I've seen Lorena McKennitt twice in concert. It's wonderful. The only concert I ever went to. I've only been to 2 concerts in my life, both with Lorena McKennitt. I actually saw Book of Mummer's Dance, or the Book of Secrets. Is the Book of Secrets? I can't remember the album name now. I saw that one live in LA. It was wonderful. What's the first question you ask Jesus when you meet him? I don't know. That's going to be out of my realm. I don't even know if I feel like I should ask him a question. Who knows? Maybe I only get to check in. I won't get to see him right away. I don't know how heaven works. Style of siding on your house. It is. It's awesome. Andrea insisted on something like this. We had to go through a lot of trouble to get it. They don't even sell it around here. We had to order it special. A friend of mine did it. Do you have a particular favorite Bible verse or chapter? Yeah, I've shared a few of those before. Proverbs 21:31. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory belongs to the Lord. That's one of my favorites. Celine Dion fan, I think your voice is perfect. That's great. Wailing Jenny's are really good. Sarah McLachlan, I really like that song, Ordinary Miracle. I could listen to that all day. That one from the Charlotte's Web movie. Man, I love that song. Oh, thank you, Carol. There's another one called Leaves' Eyes that I really like. Leaves' Eyes is like a cross between like Enya and like Rob Zombie, which is an incredible combination. And I love the crud out of it. It's quite a mix of genres, so I think it's really cool. Me too, Cole. I generally tend to like songs, but there definitely are some artists that I will listen to almost any of theirs. Anna Turnheim is really good. She's more popular in the UK. You guys might have heard of her. Yeah, that is a mix. Saw you play your instrument on the live dinner. What was it called? Did any of the kids play instruments? It's a hammered dulcimer. A couple of the kids dabble on the piano. They've all been just self-teaching, but yeah, I really enjoy it. It's a beautiful song. What was the last title of her last video, Tom, before she went to the hospital? Was it the? It might have been her birthday video. I can't recall. Did I graduate from public high school? Yeah, I did. I never went to homeschool my entire life. I'm totally a public school kid, and I came out fine. I mean, it's not like it's terrible. I think it's worse now than it was when I was a kid. Claudia's birthday as far as what's posted. No, Claudia's birthday I did afterwards. I put Claudia's birthday together after she passed away. So I think it's her birthday video might be the... Oh, it's starting to rain. Still teaching and reading scripture videos. I haven't seen one in a while, so I have to check for them. You always say something I never thought of in reading and studying, like a fresh perspective. Well, thank you, Gabriella. That's a wonderful compliment to me. I do the Bible studies on Wednesdays at around a little after 8 Mountain. Well, the rain's coming down sideways too with the computer here. I might have to head inside. I think I will. Come on, we'll go inside.
Oh, Whittier? I know where Whittier's at. I lived in Cucamonga, Ontario, Upland. I think that's about it, right, Mom? Oh, man, sorry about the shaky cam. Oh, my gosh, the wire's caught. Chimes, but heck, you can probably still hear them. Okay. Lurker here living in Cucamonga. Oh, really? Cool. We used to live on Terracina off of Lemon, and we lived at the top of Haven, and we lived at the top of Archibald. This is Marie Brennan? Oh yeah, I know that's Anya's sister. I like her a lot too. I wish Clanad, their family band, was still doing stuff. I think they actually are, but none of them are the good ones are in it anymore. Older boys are probably all down playing computer. They knew I was going to do a live, so yeah, rain started coming down sideways, and I was a little worried about the computer. So it's actually getting really windy out there. You miss anything about SoCal, like the beach? I miss Wiener Schnitzel and the beach. I do miss the beach. When I lived there, I didn't go to the beach that often. I should have gone there all the time. I took it for granted. But I miss Wiener Schnitzel and the beach. Those are probably about it. Zero comment with your wife and family, but I've watched all of your videos. Please be kind to yourself. Going to bed. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, Kristen. You missed a bunch of Hail Satans. I thought that was moderately entertaining. I bet they thought they were offensive too. I just thought it was kind of funny. They even had like a bloody heart as an icon and avatar. They went out of their way. Hey, JCB Ma. Who passed away? My wife passed away 9 months ago today. And I have 9 kids, and I'm a widowed dad of 9. Good night, Shelly. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you, Heidi. I'm way behind on editing videos. I need to edit April's vlogs, and heck, we almost got May's done. May's footage shot. How am I doing now mid chat? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Who's doing a wonderful job? Oh, well, thank you guys. They're still alive. So, morning, Lisa. It was always kind of our channel. We always did it together. Hey, Azure.
Hi.
It's about that time. It is, huh?
No, you can just use one.
Is that rain hitting the window? Yeah, it is. There's Asher. Yep. Andrea was pregnant when she died, so. Wow. Like the smell of air before it rains? Oh, of course. The smell is wonderful. Does Judah know how to edit? Or any of the older kids? They do. They do. Judah does make videos. Half of the soul of the channel is how you edit, though. And I'm pretty good. I'm sure I have my own little style, but generally I edit the same way Andrea does, and continue going things forward and showing the things we want to show. There's a thing right there, Asher, if you want to put it on. People always like to hear the boys. Smile time, be excited and expecting for the resurrection. Believe in Christ, correct? I do, but me and you could have some nice conversations about the resurrection. It'd be a lot of fun. I have some differing opinions on those types of things. What's the Greek smell for the smell of rain? It's not actually the Greek word. It's actually the English word. It's actually in the dictionary that way, but it is made of Greek. I'll write it in chat. I believe it's spelled like that. Oh, petrichor. There's no I think. Petrichor. Petra is rock. Ichor is in Greek mythology was the blood of the gods. So, did he finish his armor? I saw he's on the leg piece. He's been jumping back and forth. He's been working on bows and doing different new bow stuff. He's gotten really good with his bow that he made. And he's making a new bow now, a smaller one. That's it. Valve got it better. Yep. Petrichor. Do you believe in the rapture? Well, Eva, you should actually... I have a whole video on that. You should link it, Chad. About if you do a search for Tom Mills End of the World, I'll get my opinions about that. But a short answer is I would say no, I don't believe in the rapture. The long answer is I probably believe something totally different than what you would even suspect by that. So, but give it a listen to. It's very interesting, I think. I still have to think twice too when it comes to spelling in my students. I'll admit full-heartedly that I'm not an awesome speller. I could spell if I really think about it, but more often than not, just going quickly, I don't spell awesome. I'm much more of a left brain math and science type guy. Ever done genealogy? No, we never did. We always kind of thought about it. I tried looking for a while on my dad's side to go back and find out more about our family tree, but I kept hitting dead ends, and I kind of decided at the end of the day that maybe God doesn't want me to find that stuff. So I stopped looking. Yep, we live in Wyoming, Denise, in the northeast corner. When you do ACE, or do you buy it each year for each kid, or do you suggest getting a full set, or just the paces? I'd recommend usually getting the whole year of paces for the next year, whatever they're going into. If they fail a pace, they got to retake the whole thing, and sometimes it's nice to have an extra or two in hand, but that's a lot of times expensive and hard to keep around. A lot of times we erase the pace, maybe erase all the answers and make them do it again. But yeah, there you go. There it is right there. That's the video that Chad Kennel just put there, that second one. That's the video about my end times beliefs. I think it's based purely on the Bible. No speculation at all. Just based on what the Bible says, and taking it at face value. And it might surprise you what I think what it says. So if you're at all have an open mind, watch it. If you don't have an open mind, you don't want to watch it. It'll just make you mad. Yep, I used to just erase it. They needed to redo the pace. That's what we do a lot. So yeah, it came inside because it's extremely windy outside. The rain started coming down sideways, and I was worried about the computer. So maybe make you mad either way. Well, maybe people who have an open mind generally react to that. Wow.
I think about things I wouldn't either.
Yeah, generally react like, oh, that's very interesting. I've never heard of that before. Are you kidding me? That's generally how it goes if they have an open mind. If they don't have an open mind, they're like, no way, this is a bunch of garbage. And if that's the reaction, that's totally fine. I'm used to that. I'm used to that reaction. But the wind is getting nuts ridiculous out there. Oh, did part of our stuff fall down? What is that hanging down out there? Oh, our soffit blew down. Darn it. That's no fun. I can fix that later. People that have strong reactions to your end times view. Oh yeah. Anger. I think anger is one of the general reactions that people have about it. But if they get past the anger, the reason why someone gets angry is honestly when they don't have a good explanation. And that's the one thing you'll have. If you don't agree with me, you're going to have a hard time disproving it. So that becomes frustrating. That makes people angry. Like if I told you I believe all flies are a greater life form than humans and they're more intelligent than people are, you would just think I'm crazy. You would think I'm stupid and crazy. It wouldn't make you angry. You'd think I'm an idiot. That's generally be your attitude. You wouldn't care that I think flies are superior to life than humans. You would just ignore me. But when you have an anger reaction, most of the time, especially in theological things, if you get an anger reaction, that's because they know you got a good point. They're not ever going to admit that. For you, some of your faith is as far as an outcome. How would you view different? That's too easy. That's too easy. I've tried very hard to get the video that I have where I discuss what we believe on it is an hour long, and I worked really hard to get it down to an hour. Previously, the best video I had found on the topic that was similar was over 2 hours, and that's just too long, I've decided. And that was one of my main forces for wanting to make the other video. let's just say I believe the Bible at face value. I believe exactly what Jesus said is exactly what he said, and that's what he meant by it. I don't need to make him say something else, which I think the general views prevailing today have to make Jesus say something other than what he actually said. So, you should look and get their meat from him and your veggies. Saddened by Ravi's passing. Yeah, Ravi Zacharias passing away. Me too. I had no idea. I just heard today from somebody that I saw it on Facebook. I was like, what? He passed away. He was a great apologist. He was he had a sharp tongue and a sharp wit and very smart. I liked him a lot. He was a very smart man. Which translation of the Bible do you read? Well, I really enjoy reading the Greek, and it is natural, normal view. So I can read Greek, not super awesome. So if I'm actually doing daily reading, I like the 1984 NIV for reading. I like the New American Standard for studying, and along with the original Greek manuscripts. So, but the 1984 New International Version I really like. I absolutely despise the modern New International Version. I think it's one of the worst translations that exist. But the 1984 version was quite good. Ravi Zacharias is a preacher that passed away. Is he a preacher? Yeah, I guess he's a preacher. I'd almost call him more of an apologist than a preacher. Greatest apologist of the 21st century? I don't like saying the greatest about anything, but he was certainly a great apologist. I break my Bible reading mistake. Yes, so disappointing. Hoping you're doing well. My thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Candy. He's known as an apologist? Okay, that's what he is. Yeah.
Why is it an apologetics? Like it's an apology or something?
It's a good question. It's actually, I'm sure, related to the word apology.
There's like a... Wait, so like a... Can't wait to read stuff. I don't know the almost any pull-ups.
Apologist is somebody who defends the faith. Apologetics is the act of defending what you believe. We're all apologists at something. Maybe you like one sports team over another, and you defend why that sports team is the greatest sports team. You are an apologist of that sports team. Bible reading streak. Oh, I see. You had to come in there asking you about music. I asked you if you liked any Celine Dion's music. I think she has a beautiful voice. I don't mind it. I don't mind music at all. There's a lot of music that I'm just right in the middle on, and then every now and then I hear something like, oh my gosh, I must know who that is and what they're singing. But I think she has a beautiful voice. But I have a shirt that I wear, but I have a couple shirts. They're actually too thin, and I need to get them redone. But one says, I can explain something to you, but I can't understand something for you. That's one of my favorite shirts that I like to wear. I think that's a very true statement. That's a great question. Yeah, he was very, very kind, wasn't he? Snack time for a movie. I'm trying not to eat late at night if I can help it, or if I do, I don't eat anything else the rest of the day, and I only eat late at night, which probably isn't awesome for me. But kids like the same music as you. No, I think my kids mostly think I listen to crazy music for the most part.
No, it's all a weird one when you're looking in public. It's like depressing music.
Ashley says it's depressing music.
Like, it's weird if it's in public, you're around all the time the same music. That's like...
They're embarrassed for me if I'm listening to my music in public.
Well, it's like when you work, you play that music, and then it's like you're trying to depress yourself.
He says when I work, I play my music, which I always play my music when I'm working, and I depress myself.
It's like not inspiring music.
It's like, not inspiring music. Sad. It's sad music. I don't disagree. I like somber things. The Bible says, the heart of the wise let's see, the heart of the fools is the house of laughter, but the house of the wise are in the house of mourning. It is better to go to a house of mourning because the sad face is good for the heart. I believe it says in Ecclesiastes.
There's something like that, kind of like that in Proverbs. Also.
Oh, thank you, Mom. What music would that be? I don't know that it has a genre title. It's called different things. For a long time, there was a New Age was a title of music, but I think that title fell away. Sometimes it's just world music. I don't know what you call it. I know it when I hear it, but more somber sounding music. I enjoy a lot of female vocals. Lots of different things. Andrea Wielder's music. I don't know, maybe. Reason, arguments, and writings, and justification of something to a theory of religious doctrine. Yeah, I think that's true. It's definitely the term is used in apologetics is used to talk about theological things, but I don't like that it's married to that. Do you write and highlight in your Bible? I generally use an electronic Bible on my phone for the most part. Most of my Bible intakes comes from our audio Bible. We have an audio Bible that plays in all the different rooms of our house 24/7 and has for over 15 years, nonstop. It's played through the Bible literally thousands of times completely. It goes through the entire Bible every 3 days. It's been very powerful for us. Well, hey, Training Olives, I haven't seen you for a little bit. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. What's your favorite song? Oh, that's too hard. That's too hard. Blessed my teens with a Phil Collins day last week. That's awesome. Phil Collins has some really good songs. The prayer that her and the young man sing together. Beautiful. Huh. See, I generally say I like all music except for rap and country for the most part. It's funny, I think country music's depressing. Which my music is apparently depressing to everybody else, and I totally understand why it's depressing. But my music is depressing because it's very somber notes, and country music is depressing because your wife dies or leaves you in every song. Favorite UK singer? Well, I think Anna Turnheim is from the UK. I love Anna Turnheim. I think she's got a great voice. Kenny G, I always hated Kenny G. Even though he has the kind of music that I listen to, I think I can't respect him because he's a man. I think in my mind, beautiful music has to come from a woman, which I know is not correct. But did Andrea like country music? She listened to a lot of country music when she was younger. She wasn't a huge music person. She wouldn't just listen to music. She would like gospel stuff, I guess is a good way to do it, hymns and that type of thing. Not country is then a requirement for living in Wyoming? It might be. You know what happens when I share that joke all the time, but you know what happens when you play country music backwards? You get your dog back, you get your wife back, you get your truck back. I think that sums up why I don't like it about country. I don't like all those movies where there's animosity between a husband and a wife, or a relationship that's ending badly, or the guy's cheating on a woman. I can't stand those either. I hate those types of things. What, baby girl?
I'm really scared.
You're scared? What are you scared of?
I'm thinking when I was really again with I was going to run around.
Yeah. But that isn't all country. No, it's not. And I don't really like the twang. I can't stand that kind of stuff. I just don't like it. I like men to sing better than women, so I think you're normal. Yeah, that's just how it goes. I'm sure that there's something to it. See you later. Thanks for stopping by. What did Sophia say? I'm not entirely sure, but she was scared and was hanging with Daddy a little bit. Is that basically the gist of it? What you want to do, baby girl? You can sit with me a little bit, then you have to go back to your bed, okay? So no go on yodeling? No, I actually have kind of a respect for yodeling. My grandpa could yodel. My first CD I ever owned was Kenny Rogers. And there's several songs by Kenny Rogers that I like, that I think are really good. And so it's not a hard rule that I don't like country. I tend to like the older stuff more than the modern stuff. About the twang with the country music now is more upbeat. Like yodeling but not country, Tom. I think it's not like I like listening to it. It's not like, I'm enjoying that yodeling. I just think it's impressive and cool, and I enjoy the varied tones of the voice and see how high I can get. I'm interested in it and I enjoy it. I wouldn't like blast yodeling in my ear or anything. You use my song choices to guess my age. You'd be totally wrong. That wind whistling, that's wind outside. The wind whistling might actually be our furnace filter again. I don't understand why. I have to try to do something there and figure out why it whistles so bad. Check out the yodeling Walmart kid. Oh, never heard of that one.
Dad,
What?
I think there's one slicing with oak gray.
What?
I think there's one thing was on the gray.
You looking for gray?
I think that there's one with either orange or gray.
Oh, I see. Orange or gray. Windows open with sound stream. Crankly down original fire chants. I love like chanting music. Like they call them chanting music, but like some of those. Man, I'm trying to remember some of the people that are famous for doing some of the. I can't remember some of it. I mean, how the monks kind of all singing together. I think it's beautiful stuff. People are saying, hi, Sophia.
Hi.
Oh, I see. That must be Russian, but I don't know what it is. Hello. Gregorian chants. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, I love Gregorian chants. Enigma is great. They haven't done very different music in 20, 30 years, but I don't see how much you love and believe in God. I wish I had much faith and hope I will soon. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. You ever seen the cartoon Reboot from the 90s? I feel like it'd be right up your alley. No. Reboot from the 90s? How would I not know that? Like any 80s music like Queen? I enjoyed Queen. Some of their stuff was pretty dark. but I still enjoy them. Yeah, your furnace on tonight? Yeah, it's on. It's probably the whistling. It's funny. I think you hear it more based on the frequency, maybe. The pitch coming through. I don't really hear it. But that's probably what it is. What do you love about your daddy, Sophia? That's what they said. You don't want to answer, do you? Okay. Are you feeling tired? I'll let you back down in a minute. Queen is decidedly 70s. Yeah, but they weren't really popular until Wayne's World came out. That's kind of when it started all over again. I mean, they were popular. They didn't get really popular until then. Celtic Women is great. Mm-hmm. You raise me up. Yeah, I love that song too. There's quite a few that Celtic Woman does. I'm kind of surprised. They've sang some Enya songs and some Lerner McKennitt songs, and I'm not sure if they got licenses or what, but I'm surprised they're able to do that stuff. Oh, Bob Marley, Three Little Birds. Yeah, that's a great song. They're certainly popular in the UK before Wayne's World. Maybe they were only popular with me until Wayne's World. I don't know. I'm sure they were always big, but there's no doubt that Wayne's World brought them back pretty big, or at least increased their stardom by a lot. Tired girl. Celtic Thunder. I've never heard of that one. It's a men's group. That's probably why I haven't heard of them. Occasionally there's some good songs with male singers I like, but characters inside the computer. So amazing. Male fan, love it. I haven't. I'm not familiar with it. Might have to check it out. Enya's old school. Very movie music that I forgot about. She still does stuff. She put out an album just a couple years ago. Lindsay Sterling. Lindsay Sterling is amazing. I love crossovers like that, where you have some classical music with much more modern. It's almost like classical and dubstep, almost. Maybe more techno, but I love that. And like I was talking about Leaves' Eyes. Leaves' Eyes is great. They're like I said, they're like Rob Zombie mixed with Enya. Absolutely great. Viking's Word, if you want to do a search for Viking's Word by Leaves' Eyes, that's a really good example. Or there's several other ones that they're very got a Viking theme going on in their music. I really like them. Several Enya albums. She makes beautiful music. She does. She does some very good stuff. Teenager in my car. It was a pastime in the nighttime. Who didn't? Who didn't? That was just what you did. Celtic women were better, in my opinion. No way! Take away the women, and you just got a bunch of sweaty, long-haired dudes singing. I know that's not the case, but that's what I put in my head. If you want beautiful music, it's got to be women that do it. You like Christmas music? I love Christmas music because of the nostalgia, the feeling that it gets me. It reminds me of being a family in Christmas times and that sort of thing. Johnny Cash, no, I wasn't a huge Johnny Cash fan. You can stone me. No cute, handsome guys. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't think they're cute, handsome guys. I promise you. I've never seen them, and I don't think they're cute, handsome guys. So I'm sure that's a barrier. I'm sure if I was a woman, that'd probably be I'd be more of a Celtic thunder than a Celtic woman, but it's got to be Celtic woman. Ava Cassidy? No, I haven't. Looks like you're getting tired. You're gonna fall asleep here on me. And I'm seeing roll. Yeah, they're fun. And I'm seeing roll is good. One person singing all the parts of the entire song. You know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah, absolutely. Those are cool. Does that have a genre format? I don't know. What do they call that? That's becoming a big thing with computer age. Well, midget was alive. It's too much for me to handle. We made him promise I would go with him, and he's glad I did. Oh, that's awesome. We agree to disagree. No, I totally understand where you're coming from. Totally understand where you're coming from. I'll check them out. There are some songs sung by guys that I like that are in my genre, but I have to think of them. I have to think about it, and I have to know it when I hear it. What's your favorite animal, Sophia?
Dogs.
Dogs? That is a good animal. Those others, this isn't the first time I actually get involved. You remind me of my dad who died long ago. Oh, that's awesome. Solo choir. You ever watch those Giles theme goes with everything? I enjoy. It makes me laugh so much. If you've ever played Street Fighter, do a YouTube search for Giles themes. Guile. Giles theme goes with everything. They're hilarious. What's your favorite gospel song? I love If You Want Me To. There Will Be a Day by Jeremy Camp. I'd have to think about that. I have several favorites. Andrea's favorite was Blessed Be Your Name. Blessed be your name, give and take away. That was a favorite song. Any but a doctor I worked with played Enya CD for 10 years over and over. Even though anyone to change it drove us crazy. That's funny. I listen to all the Enya things on shuffle for a long time. I go through phases, and right now I put Celtic Woman into Pandora, and I enjoy the little radio station I get out of that. I've been listening to that lately. Give me a dog time, Dom? Maybe. Amazing Grace is a wonderful old hymn. Yeah, it is great.
Hey, Dad.
What?
I think we should someday we should buy a new dog.
I think we should buy a new dog. That's what they were just talking about on YouTube.
Yeah.
That would be nice, huh? We will definitely get a new dog at some point. Maybe a kitty cat. Just get a kitty cat.
But Bethany's allergic to kitty cats.
Bethany's allergic to kitty cats? Well, she doesn't have to pet it. To an uku, make any a good evening time with family. Okay, I recognize the last word there. The other words I do not. I want to look at that. Oops.
You just took your phone.
That's okay.
Dad?
Calestera.
Yeah.
Calestera. Tum uku. That's awesome. Very cool. Google Giles theme, the Street Fighter character came up. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, but Google Giles theme goes with everything. Put it on YouTube. It's Giles theme goes. Giles theme is a song in Street Fighter, but there's yeah, their concept was that song goes with any time, any event, and so they play all these different things that happen, and they put Giles theme to it to prove that you can put Giles theme with anything, and it's just hilarious. Ska music is. I love ska. I love Goldfinger. Goldfinger is great.
I remember a cat keeps coming in our yard.
Put your legs down.
I remember sometimes a cat the same cat coming and over and over again.
Yeah, there's a cat that likes to come do his business in one of our planters. I try to scare it away every chance I get.
You know, I once scared it away.
You once scared it away?
I was on the porch still.
I see.
But I was gonna scare it away. I'm the one that saw the cat.
Oh, yeah, that's true. It's the melodious sonnet sung by flaming tongues above. What is that from? It's a quote from somebody. All right, baby girl. Well, why don't you go back to bed now? You feel
Okay.
good night? You want to tell them good night?
Good night.
Good night. Okay. Ace of Base, love Ace of Base. I still love them to this day. I have their albums on my iPhone that I play sometimes. Dogs have owners, cats have staff. That's my joke. I think Cayenne is C-Y-E-N-N-E. No, it is C-A-Y-E-N-N-E. Come thou fount of every blessing. That's a good song too. Yep, I saw the sign. We'll put them on the map. They had a lot of other really good ones. ABBA's pretty good. Or Apocalyptica. You guys ever listen to Apocalyptica? I enjoy them too. Well, maybe we'll wrap this up here when it comes up to 11 o'clock. Yeah, I thought it was someone going to crowd dive when I streamed, but I think everyone thought I was crazy. That's awesome. Cat in a box. Having a regular church now. I know for a few weeks it was just your family. Yeah, yep. We're having normal. Actually, this last week my mom was here, and Mrs. Kelso, Becky Kelso, is a good friend of Andrea's, one of Andrea's best friends, and she came, and that was nice. They moved away, but the delay is killing me. Yeah, it's got a 30-second delay. It puts on the closed captioning if I do 30 seconds delay. Please make channel memberships. I didn't really know that was a thing. Someone else, I think, mentioned that once upon a time. Thanks, Kenzie. Maybe I'll look into that again. Love for you to live stream your church services. We thought about it for a long time. I don't think I could do it on YouTube, at least with the music. I don't know if there's other formats that would be all right. Facebook, I think, is less picky about that kind of a thing. I'm laughing so hard just listening to Giles' theme. I immediately thought of shopping and cooking and disco with everything. And I'm going to play it tomorrow on TV for them on the fam. See if they notice. Oh, it's great. I crack up to Giles' theme goes with everything all the time. And of course, growing up playing that game all the time, Street Fighter was my big game. It's even more fun and funny. So, good night, Tammy. Good to see you. We'll probably wrap this up here in about a minute. So. What about merch? I don't know. We're not much a merch type of people. We're monetized the YouTube channel, and it's been very helpful. But we're not real big on merch or sponsors or that kind of thing. I thought about doing a T-shirt thing because I thought about doing that before. Do like a little Teespring shop because there's lots of things. I have shirts. I have shirts made so I can wear them, and I think it'd be enjoyable. Plus, I think a lot of people would really like to have the shirts that we wear and be able to match. I think people have expressed that a few times. If you met a woman from a different state, would you move away from Wyoming? No, I don't think I'd ever move from Wyoming. Not only do I think this is the greatest place on earth to live, my kids were born here, and Andrea was born here, her mom was born here, her grandma homesteaded here. They actually moved to this area when this land was not even settled. And I wouldn't move. So. Merch could be a shirt that says lurker. That's awesome. Yeah, totally. We could do a lurker shirt. Oh, we're about to get off, airy night. Disaster outside saw a skinny shadow. Well, if he's learned to fly, there's like a 15-foot drop out this window. About moving to Oklahoma with me. What? You're moving to Oklahoma? It's not bad, Chad. That's weird. Cartoon family portrait cert like the picture you bought. Oh yeah, that might work. Yeah. God makes all things happen in his time. Yep. He's also set eternity in the hearts of men, yet they cannot fathom what God has done from beginning to end. Oh, I would so wear a shirt of your family. We might have to do that, for sure. All right, I think we are going to wrap up, everybody. I certainly appreciate you hanging out with me, and this kind of turned into more of a regular live than it was 9-month live. Maybe that's a sign of the times, a sign of where I'm at. I don't know. I had been doing more not very good for a while, and then today I actually started feeling a little better. But I guess we'll see. But all right, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me together, and we'll do something soon together. I promise to get the vlog up for April very soon. So talk to you guys later.